Does your painting tell a story, or is it rather lifeless with no direction? In today's tutorial, I will teach you an easy technique that will bring your paintings to life and take the viewer on a beautiful journey. Are you ready to begin? Welcome, artistic friends, to Monet Cafe Studio. I'm artist Susan Jenkins, and we're continuing in this lesson with our monthly theme of focal point strategies. Now, when I was first painting, I couldn't have even told you what a focal point strategy was. I knew when I saw an image that I loved and I wanted to paint it, and I would literally paint everything I saw. And we have this beautiful opportunity as artists to tell a story in our painting. And over the years, I learned different focal point strategies that made my paintings really go to another level. This is almost like part two. The video right before this one, I give you many different focal point strategies that are pretty common sense and really pretty easy. But in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to apply that. I've got a few different reference images here that I got from unsplash.com. They're all very beautiful, but sometimes as a beginner artist, you might not know where to start. So I'm going to break that down for you, and we're going to create a painting, and I'm going to teach you how to not only take a reference image and create one focal point strategy, but you can use the same reference image and tell different stories and take your viewer to different places. So I'm excited. How about you? Let's get started. I have 4 photo references here that I chose from a site called unsplash.com. It's a great site to get copyright-free reference images. And I chose them all because I think they already have some interesting focal elements and some pretty nice compositions to them. But I also realized that some photos, or really any photo, you can choose to accentuate different focal elements. And that's what I'm going to do with some of these. Here's a quick example of what we're going to be doing before creating the painting. I have this as a homework assignment over on my Patreon page, so I already did this one, and I'm going to speed through it to show you the concept. I just used a set of Prismacolor NuPastels, and I sketch directly on the printout. I discovered this technique a few years ago when doing some critiques for my patrons on my Patreon page, where I would sketch directly on their painting to give them tips for improvement, etc. And I found out, wow, this is a great way to lay the foundation, so to speak, of the story you're trying to tell. And often this is through focal point strategies. I loved that large sunflower. It was already a great focal point. I noticed it was a little unweighted on the left side behind it, so I added a few trees. The field was a little too busy with sunflowers, so I softened it. There was a couple of children in this particular one, and they were right in the middle. Not a good spot, so sorry, kitties, I had to get rid of you. I think you get the idea. Let me go ahead and show you the before and after and how I was able to enhance this photo to be stronger in many respects. Again, it's already a lovely photo from unsplash.com. I'll have the link in the description of this video, but it had some weaknesses with focal point interest. But it also had some strengths that I wanted to accentuate. So by literally just painting right on the printout, I was able to remove some items and stress other items, and that's what I'm going to do for you right now. I have this other image from unsplash.com. Again, it had a lot going right for it, but I wanted to really dramatize some things and make it more painterly and have more focal energy. And by the way, there is a painting tutorial after I teach you this technique and these principles. And if you're a patron of mine, you're going to get the full tutorial with all the commentary. And here on the Monet Cafe channel, it'll be sped up, but still with some commentary. All right, let's talk about this technique as I paint directly on this beach photo. There are quite a few things I already like about this compositionally. I like the fact that it has a low horizon line, a lower third, actually less than a third, which I really love those low horizon lines, or a high horizon line. That's also a good composition when you have a lot of land and a little bit of sky. We typically do not want to put our horizon line right smack dab in the middle. And also I loved the sweeping clouds. I felt like they had some focal interest already in that they appeared to be sweeping upward. That's going to draw the eye upward. So that is something that I would definitely accentuate. You see my movement and my gesture here. And also, too, some things I liked was the fact that it had little other interesting things. Down in the sand, there's some texture down there, which is interesting. But I know that I don't want to get the viewer hung up too much down here. That's something I would have done early on as an artist, and I did. I would paint a little pebbles and rocks or twigs or grasses all right down at the edge of my paper, again, because I saw them there. And I didn't know the power of being able to take away interest in some areas to lead the viewer where you want. So as much as I like this interest, I probably wouldn't do too much of the texture, maybe just a couple little pebbles to lead in and right to some of these little figures in the water. Now, figures, animals, and structures, if you're in a landscape scene, almost always get focal interest because they're different. And that's what in my last video, I kind of call part 1 to this. I talked about if you want to know things that create focal interest, usually it's just something that's very different in the scene. And these people are obviously very different. So keeping them simple, but they have different color and their shapes are obviously different than anything else in the scene. So that is where I'm thinking I want to go. I'm maybe a little lead in here. I like how this water line is already angled up a little rather than just flat. That's pulling the viewer. That's called convergence or pointing. We have elements that are pointing in directions of things. And I just kind of want to lead the viewer almost in an S-shaped curve, in and around and maybe whoosh back out to the upper left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some pastels and just kind of play with this and see if I can accentuate those things. So I am using just a set of Prismacolor New Pastels here. I might grab some of my other pastels that I have down here, but you could use whatever you have. The good thing about Prismacolor pastels is they are not real dusty and soft, so you can actually sketch pretty good on paper. I'm speeding this up a bit and just going through my focal point techniques. I'm trying to accentuate what I already love about this. I like that directional energy of the shoreline kind of diagonally reaching up a bit towards the figures in the water. I'm punching up the color a little bit. That's always a way to create focal interest, is to have some more dramatic color in areas. And like the title of this video says, we want to tell a story. We're bringing our viewer into our painting. And here I'm creating a little depth at the bottom of the painting, keeping your edges just a little bit darker, keeps your viewer inside the painting, kind of like an ellipse, like in a photograph. And so I'm doing the same thing here. I'm giving a little bit of depth up to the upper sky, and this is going to create a little bit of value contrast, bringing the viewer from the dark areas down into those lighter areas. So I'm kind of carving into some areas, and my goal is to create that energy, like I said, with the cloud, and have some direction to my mark making. You'll see me get even more dramatic with that later. Now I'm getting a lighter pastel. I often like to just keep tissue by me in the studio. They get dirty sometimes, so I wiped it off, and now's where I'm going to, you see my hand moving. Even though this is sped up, you can kind of follow what I'm doing. I'm trying to create a little more drama and a little more movement, leading the viewer from the bottom of the painting into that water to the figures and up and out through those clouds. Now, let's bring the viewer in and point them even more. This is called convergence or pointing, when you literally use elements to point your viewer where you want them to go. You'll see me do that more with the water in a minute. Here I go. See, I'm putting just a little bit more of an edge of some foam to that water, leading them right up to the people in the water that I'm going to darken a little bit soon. They are a focal element too. And just adding some fun energy to the clouds. After your viewer comes in, you're going to lead them around and up out of this painting so they have a beautiful experience and they enjoyed your story. Part of telling a beautiful story in literature is not to bore your reader with too much information, TMI. So that's the same thing we do in art. And you'll see me, I could have tried to paint every wave or every little pebble on this beach, but you'll see I use just little strategies to lead the viewer in. Again, adding a little bit more light, drama to the sky, a little bit of interest at the clouds just above the horizon line to bring that viewer from the figures up into the sky. Wanted to add a little more color interest. That's always a focal interest. I thought some pinks would be a beautiful addition to this color palette. And now I'm going to be darkening these figures. I'm going to zoom in just a minute. Now, this is not easy. I know I'm just working on my focal point strategy on a printout, but this is really teeny. So I have just a teeny little corner of this Prismacolor pastel. Just gave a little bit of value difference to some of the figures so that your eye goes to that. That's another focal point way to engage your viewer. You're going to see something if it's much darker in a painting than other elements around it. That's called value contrast. So I'm continuing to give some directional lines and movement and just some energetic strokes, all guiding the viewer into this painting where they can experience what I see as beautiful and the story that I want to tell. I did add some lighter values that were a little warm, a little leaning towards yellow. I wanted this to be a bright sunny day, and here you can see some energetic mark making that I did. Another focal point strategy is to have energy, gesture, and movement in your work. Now here's the original photo, and here is my painted version right on the photo. So I think you should give this a try. You can see already how much more dramatic this is, and it's not only fun, but it really does work. It will help your paintings immensely to have a more clear focal strategy. Now, in this one, I can see immediately I've got a tree that's kind of right in the middle of this. Things in the middle are usually no good. So I'm just using some pastels to alter the composition a little bit and give some focal interest and make this painting tell a story a little bit more clearly for my viewer. Here you can see me making a gestural mark, almost like an S-shaped curve, where I know that's my path, that I'm going to bring my viewer in and use other elements to guide them and direct them. I'm still working on removing this tree, and I also know that back in that distance there, I realized, it'd be really pretty if I had a mountain back there as well. And just like in the previous beach scene, I'm going to use elements in my painting to point my viewer where I want them to go. Some of it is going to be just these gestural grasses. Notice I put some really dark grasses down at the bottom, and I'm directionally angling things. I'm putting this light in the back of the field. That's going to be like one of the final paths. The viewer goes back through that field. And of course, these flowers are going to direct the viewer. I want them to guide the viewer because of their motion and their gesture and their energy. We don't want our flowers to be just stagnant and straight and flat. We want them to feel almost like a wind is blowing and guiding your viewer where you believe the scene will be more beautiful and you can engage your viewer visually. And I can already tell, I liked the original image a lot already, but it is so much stronger focal point wise and compositionally. I always say focal point and composition kind of go hand in hand, but can you see that this has more drama, more life, and it has a more clear path to a beautiful composition and focal energy. And now I'll actually use this as my reference image. I don't even look at the original photo. I'm working on a large sheet of pastel matte. I love this surface, and I'm using this color that's kind of a I don't know, a reddish mauve-y kind of color. And I'm going to make it approximately 14 by 11. And I often like to use these mats. The inside is an 8 by 10 dimension. The outside of a mat is 11 by 14. And now I'm ready to paint. By the way, this version on the Monet Cafe channel is sped up substantially. My Patreon version is almost real time and a lot of commentary. But I wanted you here on this channel to see how this painting comes to life using my printout with my painting notes on top as the reference image. I'm not even looking at the main photo. And I find that I get a more impressionistic style when I work from this printout with my painting on top. It just comes out more loose and painterly. And I'm just trying to capture the energy that I already established from my printout and use some darker values to block things in. I'm just getting the tree shapes, and notice how loosely I'm getting this. By the way, this pastel matte surface takes a lot of layers. So this is just my initial layer and also what's called the blocking in stage. I'm blocking in big shapes, values, and colors. And it's a great way to start a painting that will keep it loose and impressionistic. And now I already have an idea of the story I'm trying to tell because of already working on the printout. And I know that this main tree and this grouping of trees is going to have a little darker value. That's a wonderful focal point element. I also know that these grasses are going to be sweeping around that curve and leading the viewer to some of the flowers in the distance, the mountains, and the sky. So it's great to already think of it as a summary you've already written for your novel, which is your painting. And it's just like having these wonderful notes already laid out for you where you already have a direction and you know where you're going. And if you're new to some of my videos, you may be thinking at this phase, oh my goodness, I'm not going to watch this. That's a big old mess right there. But that's actually how many pastel paintings begin, with this loose, very generic beginning. It's kind of an underpainting of sorts, but again, it's also called blocking in. And now I'm blending with a piece of pipe foam insulation, what you literally insulate your pipes with. I just cut off a little piece. It's a great blending tool. And what this is going to do, it's going to not only soften the painting, make it feel a little bit more romantic, but it's also going to cover up a lot of that. There was just too much of the surface showing through. It still has its influence and it does show through in some places, but now it's a great beginning. I'm just going to add a little bit of music here to finalize this. Not much longer to go, actually. But before I do, I would love for you to come on over to the Patreon family. It's only $5 a month, and you can cancel at any time. And what I love is I get to see your work. We have a community of artists sharing together, multiple sharing platforms, and it's really a lot of fun. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I'd love it if you do that and like this video, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. That was some dramatic music, right? But kind of fun. Kind of goes along with our storytelling theme. Here is the final. I loved creating this painting. It was a lot of fun and really a lot easier because of this little trick. Try it. Do a printout of your reference image, give yourself some notes, and try painting directly from that image. I think you will love it, and I think you will love the results. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, comment, become a patron if you like, and as always, God bless and happy painting.